Okay, ladies, a bit of an impromptu recording. Apologies for the massive delay since my last communication. Not only was and have I been on a hell of a work stretch, 10 total events in 8 straight weeks to start 2025. And also, my brother just left a couple of nights ago and it didn't end particularly well. So I'm still sort of shedding all of that. And him being here obviously was another muck up of my world and my energy. Okay, so because there's only four of you still at this point, March 5th, 2025. On the Dreamspell Galactic calendar, it's Galactic 27. So we're about to switch into a new month. We're about to switch into month 9, which is the solar moon of intention, starting Friday. And given that it's the moon of intentions, I am very consciously intending to have a very conscious month of intentions coming up. Hence why I'm trying to get this momentum building, because what I'm hoping is that your all's energy towards what my intentions are, just by virtue of sharing in what I share with you, you'll be feeding that. And I had a very big development. Now, I think all of you individually have been informed of this through me, but again, the goal is ultimately to have this group be a very powerful divine feminine energy group that will be comprised of more than women that I know directly and more from women that I'm not as close to as I am to your four. And like I said, there's a few others, but beyond that 8 of you, I'm not close. You're it for me in terms of who I exchange with, women or men, in the way that I exchange with all of you individually. And I'm wanting all of our energy to come together and begin to intertwine your energies for those of you that don't know one another. And again, there's a lot of layers of intention within the Patreon group that probably isn't yet clear. It's definitely not off the ground yet. And I'm hoping over the course of the next 2.5 weeks, this stretch at home that I have, that I'm able to do something that gets that moving a little bit more. And clarification and crystallization is coming. And there is absolutely no doubt that, and I'm just going to say this because I know I can say it to you ladies, but it's hard, and I'm humbled and I'm honored to express what I'm going to say, but I have found that like a wounded masculine energy would receive this as me being arrogant or cocky, and I'm not trying to do that. But the character of Allison at the highest level, there are some really big themes. One, a major, major willingness to open myself up in the story of Allison's life to be a major story of massive transmutation from fear to love. And I think both of these things I'm about to say, as the major themes that Allison is here to express, is true for every awakened being, is true for all of us. Anybody that chose to be in human form at these times on this planet, as we participate and co-create in this constant, this conscious evolution of the entire species, not just of the planet herself, but the whole species of humanity is evolving, and we have the opportunity to do so consciously. Therefore, all of us have come in with the energy of transmutating fear from love, and the second one, which has to do with the balancing of the masculine and the feminine, and most notably dialing into our divine feminine, and so and some of you, I think, know the story of my regression, my one hypnosis experience where I experienced myself through the birth canal of this lifetime. And the situation of what that was, my mom's water breaking 6 weeks early, literally having this experience, sharing it with my mom months later, with my mom telling me an aspect of my birth that I was not familiar with. Specifically, that her sister had her water break, her oldest sister with her first child had her water break at the exact same time, 6 weeks early, and her oldest sister lost the baby. So very real, the energy of fear imbued me from from the moment that I entered the world as Allison. It was fear from my family triumphed over the love. The love was there, but the fear dominated, most notably from my own mother. That is big, 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 big. But right now, what's even more activated than that one, I've done a lot of work in the transmutation and the inner workings of looking at my own fears and hitting my own fears head on and working so hard then to extrapolate that out to the world and seeing love in place of the conditioning that's trying to get us to see and experience everything from fear. I'm good here. I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I've got this really well practiced. This masculine feminine one is massive. It's massive. And the high level theme that Allison, the story of Allison, was going to serve as a microcosm for the macro. So what I'm experiencing in both of these things as little old Allison processes these things and truly tries to garner every lesson and grows and expands into more love than fear and into a balance, a magical, majestical balance of divine feminine and divine masculine with the divine feminine leading. As Allison comes into both of those on behalf of, first and foremost, her own life, her own story, by virtue of the role that the character of Allison's life plays in this grand game, it's got a major ripple effect that will affect anything, just like a stone in the water. The ones that are closest to Allison will be affected the most, and then it will ripple out, appropriately to what the splash is, the metaphoric splash is. And let me tell you, the metaphoric splash of what has been happening in calendar year 2025 as it pertains to the masculine energy in my life, most notably being lived through the experience with Kirk Gibson guy, heart attack guy, most notably, not at all separate from my brother's visit, not at all separate from my friend that was living here for the second time, not at all separate from my most previous ex, who is so similar to heart attack guy. It's crazy, right? That's not an accident. And the fact they're both at my gym, which is the only fucking place I go to with any regularity in town. That's my community, is my fucking gym, and they're both there. None of that is accidental. And now the capstone. And again, I think all of you know this individually, but for purposes, for those that will join this later, the fact that I'm about to re-enter the world of Ironman in now a month, just 1 month, with my business partner, a Black man 15 years younger than me. And we are entering that world. Him for the first time, me re-entering it after the massive number of conscious seeds I planted when I was a contractor in that world from 2014 until the end of 2019. Conscious seeds, big time, including a playlist that is currently on my YouTube channel titled Becoming Iron Woman Within Iron Man. Ladies, this is not a small reentry. We are doing it as now business owners. I'm not the lowly little mighty mouse that they call me, and I am not and cannot reenter that world as the badass little girl. I must reenter as the goddess woman, and I've got 4 weeks. And I'm going to utilize this space and all of your energy to prepare me and to prepare my energy field, because the real divine feminine, as we know, is silent. So the real energy that I'm going in there to be has to be unstated. It's behind the scenes. It's the underlying oomph. And I'm confident that I'm already floating real close to the range that I need to be in. And because of how strong my business partnership is, And because of our top guy that's coming with us, I don't doubt for a moment that with their physical male presence and us going as owners for this first build to then see if we'll continue with the rest of the contract, I know that I'll have enough oomph from them being there too, but I need to make sure I'm strong enough to assure, if only energetically, I am not the same girl that you guys all last knew. Yeah, they respect the girl, but they only see the little girl. They don't see who I really am, and therefore aren't able to do anything to really help me, which is essentially give me the playing ground that I'm capable of playing on. Give me a chance so that my energy can be out there rippling. So I'm hoping that the way that this communication came through today paints the picture enough of where the energies are. And to conclude, let me just sort of summarize. Again, the opening and beginning of this Patreon group, specifically with you four, was very specifically to give myself a safe place where I feel fully comfortable to just voice what I'm trying to voice, and I'm not tiptoeing around male ego, most notably male ego issues, where I'm able to say what I want to say. And you all, I know, have had experiences in your own worlds where it's like we're these little girls. They don't see us as women. The world, we don't have a world. We have a world where we see women playing the man's game. Sure, we see women glorified as athletes. We see women acting the same obnoxious ways within the world of politics. Sure, in that way. That's not divine feminine energy. Those are people with vaginas that are playing still the penis game. This has got to be about the divine feminine. And this evidence that I have, most recent piece of evidence that continues to tie together everything that's going on with this masculine and feminine piece in particular, what I see is a ripe opportunity to silently go into a powerful metaphor. Ironman is a powerful microcosm metaphor of the macrocosm of white male energy dominating, almost irrelevant to its size, because it's nowhere near the size of any other sports. But what the energy contained specifically in the sport of triathlon, that white male energy that I believe defines most of the systems of our entire world, the systems that are currently collapsing, therefore how much they're gripping onto these things that clearly don't serve. I have a chance to re-enter that through my energy, to go right within it, the Trojan horse, and explode divine goddess feminine energy silently with heart. And win-win and love and abundance and all the positive things rippling through silently. And you all are going to be a part of that. Thanks for listening and stay tuned. There's going to be a lot more in the next few weeks. Thanks.